sit here and talk about this. I have to sit here and talk about this. I have to sit here and talk about racism in football in 2024 yet again. Yeah, it's crazy, and I felt obliged really to talk about this situation because one, it involves Chelsea, and of course I am a Chelsea fan. Two, I've talked a bit about racism and some of these kind of serious topics on my channel before. But three, the main reason I want to talk about this is because of the, I guess, lack of understanding and education and the reaction of certain people around this situation. And I sort of just wanted to give my thoughts on it, and really for any of those who maybe don't understand really the severity of the situation and what people's actions have done and what they actually mean, so that they can, I guess, understand it. Because I've seen a lot of people online saying how they don't, understand how this is racist. They don't understand. It's perfectly fine. Or if someone said that about me, I wouldn't care. And I can understand why someone would think like that. But I'm here to, I guess, give my thoughts and provide a bit of context to this situation. So, if you don't know what happened, so Argentina, of course, won the Copa America versus Colombia on Sunday it was, and their players were celebrating, partying. Great achievement, right? Great achievement. And on the team bus, they're celebrating, they're chanting. Enzo Fernandez is on an Instagram live and got his phone out. Everyone's singing, partying, great vibes and stuff on the bus with the squad. And then all of a sudden, they start chanting, and then they start making a chant about France and Kylian Mbappe in particular. And then, all of the Argentinian players are singing it, chanting it, jumping around, laughing, smiling. And then very quickly afterwards, Enzo Fernandez realises, oh no, I've messed up. Because I'm pretty sure in the comments, I'm not entirely sure, I'm pretty sure in the comments people will start saying like, what the hell? And he quickly ended the live stream. And in terms of what that song was, I will tell you what the lyrics of that song were now. So this is what the song said, translated in English. They play for France, but they are from Angola. His mother is Nigerian, his father Cameroonian, but on the passport, his nationality is French. And there was also a line about Mbappe being a transgender, which again is a separate issue really, but I want to talk about this in particular and focus on those lines. Now look, on face value, if somebody just said, his mother is Nigerian, his father is Cameroonian, but on the passport, French, I mean, that's not really anything too offensive, right? That's, I guess you're just kind of stating a fact, but I mean, it's not actually a fact. His mother is not Nigerian, by the way. But, I guess it is, nothing overtly offensive, right? But this is where I think people are forgetting the context of this situation, because it's not like they're just saying this or they're just chanting this. It's the way they're doing it is as an attack. They're chanting it to make fun of Kylian Mbappe, to make fun of the French players, to say, haha, you're not really French, you're Cameroonian, you're Nigerian, you're not French, because your parents were born in a different country, you don't belong there, you're African, you're not French, you're from Angola, you're not actually French. And they're saying it as an insult. It's not like they're just stating, oh yeah, your father's Cameroonian. They're using it as an insult and a direct attack on Kylian Mbappe and the French players. And that's where the problem lies. That's where the problem lies. Another big thing here is it's completely unprovoked. Bear this in mind. Argentina have won the Copa America. Copa America. And they're singing about France. Like, what? France aren't even in the competition. Like, surely if you're going to sing about another nation, you sing about like Colombia, Brazil, or something like that. Obviously don't see those lines, but still, you would think they would be, making fun of those guys. Why are you singing about France and Kylian Mbappe when you've won the Copa America? It doesn't make any sense. And again, this is where when you add that context into it, and now you look at the lines, it's like, okay, hold on. Yeah, you're saying this to attack France, to attack Kylian Mbappe, and saying that because you have African parents, you're not French, and that is where the problem lies, because that's simply not true. That's simply not true. Kylian Mbappe and pretty much everybody in the French squad were born and raised in France. Their whole lives went through France elementary schools, they went through France high schools, they went through everywhere in France. They joined France football academies, they joined France Ligue 1 sides. Everything about them, they speak French fluently. That was the first language they learned. Everything about them is French. But yet they attack them and say, oh, you're not French. Why? Because they have African descent. Why? Because they're black. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it's a lack of education. It's a lack of education from the Argentinian players. A lack of awareness to realise, this chant is firstly inaccurate because they are French. They are French. So just because their parents were born in a different country, but they're born in France, they're not French. Like, how does that make any sense? It's completely stupid. And yeah, it's some of the stuff I've seen online. A lot of people saying, it's not racist and stuff. Again, I understand if you just read the line, cool, but you're not applying the context that they're using this as an insult. And it's just a really, you imagine I came up to you and I wanted to insult you, and the first thing I say is, oh, your parents weren't born in this country, they were born in Africa. Firstly, that's a very weird thing to point out. But secondly, you're probably thinking like, okay, why is that the thing you focus on? Like, is there some sort of undertone here of racism or something? Like, why is that the thing you focus on if you're trying to insult me? So, even though, yeah, sure, a lot of French squad, most of the French squad, most of them are from African descent. What's the issue? Like, and how is that an insult? And how is it an attack? And how do their parents being born in Africa mean they are not French? It doesn't make sense. And I can speak on this particularly as, an Englishman, because we had the same problem in, the Euro 2020 final. After Saka, Rashford, Sancho missed their penalty, suddenly they got racist abused. Suddenly they're not English. Even though Saka, born and raised in London, Rashford, born and raised in Manchester, Sancho, born and raised in London, goes through English academies, Arsenal Academy, Manchester United Academy, played in England, lived in England for the majority of their lives, born and raised in England. But, the moment they mess up, suddenly they're not English and suddenly their parents and where they were born matters. Yeah, it's just honestly so stupid. And yeah, I can't believe I'm talking about this stuff in 2024. Now, with Enzo Fernandez, this is where things get a little bit sticky as well, because with Enzo, obviously he was the one with the Instagram live recording it and everything. But I do want to stress, obviously, it wasn't just him. He was just in the position where he was the one recording it. So everybody is honing in on him. But of course, it was not only him. Pretty much the whole Argentinian squad was there. And everybody is to blame there. Everybody who was chanting and singing along to that is just as culpable as Enzo. But obviously, with Enzo being at the forefront, filming it and being his live and being involved, he's taken a lot of the blame. And obviously, as a Chelsea fan, this is where problems start to come, because we have a lot of black French players who are literally what he is chanting about. Those players have been born and raised in France. They are French, but have African descent. Malo Gusto, Benoit Badiashile, Wesley Fofana. I'm missing someone as well. Axel Disasi as well. We have a lot of French boys just like that. Christopher and Gungu as well. So this is now where things get really sticky and messy with this situation, because Wesley Fofana has come out and condemned this, rightfully so, on his Twitter and Instagram. And again, this is where I'm just so angry and disappointed in people. People started racially abusing Wesley Fofana for calling this out. Like, are you serious? What is wrong with you? Honestly, what is wrong with you? Anyway, so Fofana called it out. He's unfollowed Enzo. So is Gusto, so is Disasi. And now this becomes very awkward and a very awkward situation for Chelsea, because once Enzo Fernandez returns from his holiday and returns to copa and returns to Chelsea, what exactly is going to be the dynamic and the relationship between him and those French players? And to be fair, the rest of the squad, because again, a lot of other players in that squad, and pretty much every nation in the world has players just like that, who of dual nationality, who their parents have been born in a different country but they've been born in that country. In that Chelsea squad, I'm thinking of maybe someone like Romeo Lavia, for example. Off the top of my head, Raheem Sterling. We have quite a few black players in the squad as well. So how are they going to react to it as well? But of course, those French boys in particular are definitely not going to like it. So now there's a whole issue here at play with Chelsea. Now hopefully it can be resolved. Hopefully Enzo Fernandez, I will assume Enzo Fernandez and all of the Argentinian squad will come out, make a public apology, as they should, and condemn their actions and their behaviours. But in particular with Enzo, I'm really hoping, and I'm guessing, I'm assuming, if he's wise, he privately has chats with those French players in particular and the rest of his squad, and apologises for his actions and tries to amends, because if he does not, or if he even does, and most French players are like, yeah, nah, I don't see it the same way. Yeah, now we're in a problem. Now we have a very bad situation, because what exactly do we do? What exactly do we do here? You know, and if it came down to that, let's say Enzo didn't apologise to them, or they just, they did not want his apology, they didn't think his apology was good enough, and suddenly there's a whole, I guess, shift, and they don't want to play with Enzo Fernandez. A lot of other players don't want to play with Enzo Fernandez at the club anymore. They don't want to talk to him. Then, in that situation, personally, you have to sell Enzo. You have to sell him. Now, I'm hoping, and I don't think it will come down to this situation, but if it does, you have to sell him. You have to sell him. Because, you can't have someone in the team who is causing divisions, and let's say, hypothetically, let's say this situation occurs and, he doesn't really do a good enough apology to the public as well, and we keep him, and we say, we're backing him. Firstly, a lot of those French players will probably say, I want to leave. I want to leave, but then that also means, again, a lot of French players will not want to join us because they're like, I don't want to play with this guy. So yeah, it's just caused so many problems, this thing now, which was completely unavoidable, completely unnecessary. Yeah, and I'm just really disappointed in Enzo. I'm really disappointed in the Argentinian squad for their behaviours and their lack of awareness, their lack of education on this situation. And yeah, it's just a really, really stupid thing to do. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the video there. Let me know your thoughts on this whole situation. Do you agree with my thinking behind this? And yeah, hopefully we never see this stuff again in football, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. And yeah, if you have enjoyed,